Hey everybody, Wolf with just a little bit of a card opening episode because but had saved up for the new expansion Listers of the Old Gods in Hearthstone. So I just decided that I would open all the packs that I've saved up for and open them all. There are 5 other packs that I couldn't get by getting 7 wins in standard mode, but that would take forever at this rate just because of the lag and also just because I'm facing a lot of decks with a lot of the newer cards without having any of the newer cards because I haven't opened any of the decks or any of my cards. So let's go ahead and start opening them. First one, I believe. Oh yeah, I got these Overwatch packs. Alright, so start off with a nice little pack here. Wisp of the Gold Gods. Very eh. Oh, a Light in the Darkness, that's a really good card. Dusk Boar. A 4/1 is pretty terrible, considering that a lot at 3 classes can kill it off immediately with their hero power. Flame Wreath Faceless, one of the best 4-drops in the game now. If you're playing the Shaman, you're not gonna want to pick up Chillwind. You're gonna want to pick this up. I mean, it's a 4-drop with an overload of 2, which pretty much means that it's a 6-drop. But I mean, getting it out on turn 4 is pretty great anyways. Then you got Shatter, destroy a frozen minion. So Freeze Mage is going to be a lot more viable option thanks to that. Let's go to the next one. Alright, so no, just a rare. Stormcrack deal 4 damage to a minion for pretty much 3 damage. Eldritch Horror, Selfless Hero. This looks like a very good card. I mean, it's a 1-drop for a 2/1 that also gives a Divine Shield, which is pretty fantastic. Oh, that's a double Stormcrack. So any others I can give will just be disenchanted. Aberrant Berserker, that's it's iffy. I mean, pretty much if you're a mage, then it ends up being a 6-drop for a 5/4 in the end. But it for a 3/5, it's all right, I guess. Because I mean, the only other 3/5 I can really compare it to is the food vendor card. That's a 3/5, but it gives 4 health to both players. So this is just not as good. And then for a vanilla 8-drop, a 6/10 isn't bad. It doesn't die to BGH or Big Game Hunter, so that's pretty great. Next pack. All right, Golden Mire Keeper. In Nerubian Prophet, I've actually been interested in thinking about trying to get a spider deck running with a rogue because of their ambush and Nubarak. I love Nubarak. Alright, so we got Forbidden Ritual. Spend all your mana, summon that many tentacles. So if you have an empty board, this is best played on turn 7 or with only 7 mana. You got Polluted Hoarder, which is pretty much a buffed up version of Loot Hoarder. It's pretty much 2 Loot Hoarders in one without one of the cards. Mirekeeper is this is fantastic, especially because it's pretty much a 2-drop for a 3/3. Because then you also get the empty mana crystal, so this is going to be great for ramp druid. The 2/2 slime makes it also a 4-drop for a 5/5 body. So either choice that you make makes this a great card. So you got Darkstar Alchemist. I haven't seen this card actually. Battlecry, restore 5 health. So 5-drop for a 4/5, that's alright stats. But restore 5 health, that's pretty good comboing because not only can you use that on any other, you don't have to do it on your hero, you can do it on your other minions, and you can combo this with Alkanized Soul Priest that you can play on turn 4 to deal 5 damage instantly while getting that 4/5 body out. Alright, now Faceless Summoner. Oh, this is a card that people have been going oogles over. I mean, it's pretty much you're getting a 5/5 for 3 mana, I guess is it. But I mean, the thing is that 3-drop can still beat this like Amgam Rager, which they've been going off as a Rager every set. We got Flame Rager, we got Ice Rager, now we got Amgam Rager. Yeah. Shifting Shade. Copy a deck from your opponent's deck. Copy a card from your opponent's deck and add it to your hand. So that's a nice body of 4 for 4/3, and that's a very nice death rattle as well. So if you're playing like it's like what's yours is mine deck with Priest where you just keep grabbing their cards with like Thought Steal, Mind Games, and all that, then that's a pretty great card. Celsi Squid Face, I never saw that one. Death Rattle, give your weapon +2 attack, and it's a 4/4 for 4. So that's alright. That's alright. Even if it gets silenced, it's still vanilla 4/4 for 4 mana, so that's pretty alright. Carrion Grub, a 2/5 beast. That's a pretty sticky minion there. I mean, there's that turtle that's a 4-drop for a 2/7. But I mean, combined with other beast cards, this can be great, but a 2/5 for 3 is alright, I would say. Alright, next back here we've got another Squid Face, Hoarder, Golden Twilight Darkmender. If your Cthulhu has at least 10 attack, restore 10 health to your hero. That's not bad, especially this is also a pretty good card stat-wise. It's a 6/5 for 5. Then we got the Tentacle of Inzoth. A 1/1 for 1, deal 1 damage to all minions. I can't really see much this will be played in except for like a Warrior Grim Patron deck. But, oh well. Next. The Rager. Faceless Behemoth, a 10/10 for 10. I would actually say that's kind of horrible. Just because, I mean, we have the 6/10 for 8, which is pretty alright, but this dies to Big Game Hunter, so you just wasted a turn pretty much if they play Big Game Hunter. Feral Rage, give your hero 4 attack this turn or gain 8 armor. This is another card that's great for the legendary of Druid, so you get both of them. So for 3 mana, you get 4 attack and 8 armor, which is pretty fantastic compared to the Claw card, which is give your hero 4 attack this turn and gain 4 armor, so which is also for 4 mana. So for 3 mana, you're getting better value. Corrupted Healbot, 6/6 for 5. This can do some hefty damage if you're expecting to do a kind of late game burst deck where you rely on most of your damage coming out late game. So during mid game, this is this is still technically early game because that's turn 5 at the earliest. Especially if you don't hit your opponent in the face and you're just trading out minions. But this is also a great card. It's comboed for Priest with Organized Soul Priest because it dies, you deal 8 damage to the hero. Sealess Initiate. Definitely, I would say I would prefer this over the Spawn of Inzoth overall, just because it's pretty much a 2/2 for 1, but you just need to have another minion on the board as well, which I would say for if you would want to have this for like a Zoolock deck, yeah, Zoolock deck, and combo this with like Argent Squire, so then you have a pretty much a shielded mini bot for one less mana. Oh, we got our first legendary there. So, got those 3 already. Spreading Madness. Deal 9 damage randomly, split among all characters. So, it's similar to Avenging Wrath, but it also hurts yourself. So, it's good, yet bad at the same time. It's a lot of RNG. Now, let's see this legendary. Oh, the Boogie Monster. Whenever this attacks and kills a monster, gain +2/+2. Yeah, probably an immediate disenchant right now because it's just a terrible card. I mean, if you want to play this, you want to play Gruul instead because Gruul is a 7-drop for an 8/8 that still climbs up. I mean, only 2/2 when you kill a monster. Yeah. Especially because you have to kill it. Not even any stealth. Alright, this is a pretty good looking pack. Summon a 1/1 Shadow Beast. This is fantastic for more Druid, or not Druid, War Handlock decks. The Selfless Hero, Corrupted Healbot, Corrupted Seer. This is probably I'm not even sure to say if this is the worst Murloc card because I mean it. Well, I actually would say it is the worst because it's a 2/3, so it's not really that sticky. It won't stay on the board, especially for a 6-drop, and deal 2 damage to all non-Murloc minions. If you're playing this out on turn 6, then there's not much that they're going to be able to do, or there's not much damage that could do. Valfin Inquisitor, though, that is a better Murloc card, so we got a better 2 of the Murloc cards, with one being the better one in the same pack. So immediately turn 1, you can already start your Murloc deck because you get a Murloc. You start being able to have the same hero power, but they're Murlocs instead, so it synergizes with all the other Murloc cards. So even in standard, standard and wild Murloc decks would see a lot of play of that. Twisted Worgen, a 3/1 for 2 stealth, which is alright. On the hunt, deal 1 damage to summon a 1/1 Mastiff. Oh man, that just annihilates desk board there. Just because, hey, you got that 4/1 out there, I'm just gonna kill that and summon a minion for myself for just 1 mana. Okay, Blackwater Pirate, your weapons cost 2 less. And then we got the Ravaging Ghoul, which is another great card, especially for like enraging warrior, Grand Patron warrior decks. But that Blackwater Pirate, I mean, your weapons cost 2 less. 4 mana for 2/5. For a moment there, I was about to say that this would actually make Tentacles for Arms a viable card, but it still doesn't. It still doesn't because they just kill that off, and then you're still paying the 5 mana cost. And if you don't know what Tentacles for Arms is, it's a 5-drop weapon for warriors. That's a 2/2 stat pool. And when it gets destroyed, you get another copy into your hand, so you continuously get to put it out. But that's just a terrible card overall because that's a way too weak of a weapon. Especially because one of the warrior's main 2-drop weapons is a 3/2. It may come back, but that's not enough. Alright, so got those already. No. Eternal Sentinel. Unlock your overloaded mana crystals. Oh, so this is great for an overload shaman deck as well. Combined, or I don't think that the Lava Surge is going to be. Is Lava Surge still in standard? I think that was Golem versus Gnomes, but this will be is just a fantastic card because it's a 3/2, which is a pretty good stat pool for a 2-drop, but it's just fantastic because you get to play down your big 7/8 taunt on turn 5, and then next turn you get to play out that card, and then you get to have 3 other mana to spend, so you get to fool your opponent some. All right. Balefin Tidehunter. I wouldn't say that would be a good Murloc card just because the card that summons is not a Murloc. I mean, if you want, just play the regular Tidehunter instead. I would be, even though it has taunt, it's a 1/1. So rogues, mages, even paladins. I just realized paladins and druids, they all just kill off that ooze easily. So you just have a 2/1 for 2, and a lot of 2/1s are usually 1-drops. Grotesque Dragonhawk. I can see this being used as a very risky end game card combined in a hunter deck. I mean, you get out a Tundra Rhino so that it gets charged, and then you have there's one card that I know of that gives a card immune and also 3 attack for that turn. So that's 16 damage that you can hit them in the face with, or be able to kill off 2 minions without it even taking damage. Twilight Geomancer. Pretty much the dragon the Twilight Accord thing. It's a 1/4 for 2 as well, but it only gets taunt and it gets +1 attack if you have a dragon in your hand. But this one already gets taunt, and this gives your Cthulhu taunt as well. I actually am thinking about getting a Cthulhu deck. I faced a Warlock Cthulhu deck, and I literally just won barely. I had 5 health, and I just managed to rush him down just enough. Doomcaller. Give your Cthulhu +2/+2. If it's dead, shovel it into your deck. I don't think that was involved when I saw this card before. I just remember seeing it give it +2/+2. There's a pretty good stat body already. A 7/9 for 8. It adds immediately to BGH, but if you have a Cthulhu that's dead, then you play this out, then you got another Cthulhu coming. Alright, what else we got here? Spawn of Inzoth, Faceless Behemoth. Alright, so this Swarmer, and this will be very interesting, especially for my rogue. Well, they're pretty much almost pushing for a rogue spider deck, I would say, just because it can only attack if your hero attack this turn, and there's actually only a few classes that can actually attack on their own, and that's warrior, druid, rogue, and shamans. But shamans are only by weapons, and they have very few weapons. So this is definitely a card I would want to put in for my spider deck. Spawn of Inzoth, Death Row, give your minions +1/+1. That can be some fantastic value because that's at best a buff of +6/+6 across the board. So if you're playing, so again for a handlock deck, that's a fantastic card. All right, let's see if we can pull another legendary. Come on. Nope. Blood to Ichor. Okay, so that's another new card. 1 drop. Deal 1 damage to a minion if it survives summon a 2/2 slime. I would say if they have a 2-drop card, then on turn 4 this is a perfect card to play if they have a 2 health minion, because then you put down that the ghoul card that has a battle cry of dealing 1 damage to every minion. So first you deal the blood to Ichor to that, and then you put down the minion, the ghoul. So you still have a 2, even though you have a 2/1 body. Well, that's bad at the same time. But I mean, it can be comboed nicely, I would say. Oh, even better, blood to Ichor plus execute. That's a 2/2 minion. Plus you get to get rid of a high value minion as well. It's almost technically a better BGH with only -2 attack. Bog Creeper. Squirming Tentacle. Just some fairly average taunt cards. I mean, there are more taunt cards for classes, so I'm not sure exactly what they're trying to go for with the extra taunts that they're throwing out, but more Shifting Shades. Are you only going to get 1 legendary in 43 packs? Alright, Ravaging Ghoul, Bloodhoof Blade, Forlorn Stalker, Valkyrie, give all Death Rattle minions in your hand +1/+1. Makes more Death Rattle centric beat Hunter decks more viable. Bloodhoof Brave, 2/6 for 4 is alright. The Enrage plus for +3. I'm not exactly sure how well that would go, because if you play this against like a mage, they probably just fireball it. Blood Warriors, another warrior card, 3 warrior cards in 1 pack. Add a copy of each damage friendly minion to your hand. So this is definitely comboed well with Ravaging Ghoul, because if you have a board of creatures that you want to have again, you put Ravaging Ghoul down and then play Blood Warriors. But you can only make sure you can combo that on turn 6 and above. Alright, carrying on Cold Apothecary. Pretty much the heal bot, or the regular heal bot of this expansion. It's better stats, but the heal isn't as good. Doesn't get as good until your opponent has 4 minions or above. Stand Against Darkness. So that is actually already a good little combo there. If they, or a counter, they play Stand Against Darkness to get those 5/1/1s out. You play that, you get your 10 health. But then they just play Quartermaster, and then you have to deal with 5/3/3s on turn 6 or 7. Cult Sorcerer. After you spell damage +1, after you cast a spell, give your Cthulhu +1/+1. That's ooh. I mean, it's a very high targeted minion, not only because it's a 3/2 with spell damage. I mean, but it's also because it's a Cthulhu buffer, so you want to play that late game with low cost spells that Mage definitely does have, but it won't be as effective as you would want it to be with that spell damage. Let's see here. Darkchild Huntsman, Golden Stormcrack, that's 4 Stormcracks. Another Faceless Summoner, Sword of Darkshire, whenever you summon a 1 health minion, give it Divine Shield. This actually goes well with that Selfless Hero, because you end up having to play that later, like on if you had to play that on like turn 4, then that's a 3/3 body plus the 2/1 with Divine Shield. So hopefully that card can get more Divine Shield value off. So the Darkchild Councilman, this is gonna be definitely used for zoos and zoo locks definitely. After you summon a minion, gain +1 attack. That you just continuously summon out minions, especially with that forbidden card for warlocks. I said shaman there for a moment. Mark of Yasarge. Ooh, Dark Oroco. This just makes Druid Cthulhu decks even more viable. I mean, if you have the 4-drop for a 3/3, that's the choose one of either the 2/2 slime with taunt or an empty mana crystal. If you play it and get the empty mana crystal, the next turn you just play out Dark Orocoa. I mean, it's a fantastic card. It's a 5/7 taunt, so it's gonna stay there for a little while. But a +3/+3 as well. That almost gives it a value of an 8/10, just not exactly. Mark of Yasarge, they're definitely also pushing for more beast druid decks, which I actually am interested in doing. But give it a minion +2/+2. If it's a beast, draw a card, so that's alright. Corrupted Seer, fuck that thing. Alright. Lagged. Alright. Blade of Cthulhu, oh man. I can already see some highlights already on like Trollden where somebody plays down Cthulhu and it's like 2020 or something and wipes the board. Then they just play a Blade of Cthulhu and get that 2020 to their Cthulhu and play that their own Cthulhu. Oh man, that would be fantastic to see someday. I'm already calling it now. Shadow Strike, deal 5 damage to an undamaged character. I never saw that one before. I guess that would. It does take care of a lot of 3-drop cards as well. I'm not exactly sure how I feel about that, especially for 3 mana. I mean, it definitely can be good. Carry on Grub. Yeah, you can't just carry on Grub. Taunt, Death Rattle, summon a 2/2 slime. I don't think of anybody that likes this card. Clexy Amber Weaver. See, this is just saying do Cthulhu decks. Gain +5 health. That's a 4/10. Or wait, actually, now that I think about it, who gets the +5 health? Is it the Amber Weaver here, or does the Cthulhu get +5 health? I actually don't even know. That it will be something to see. Come on, lag. If I remember correctly, lag actually means you got a good card in your pack. Or is it not having lag means that you got a bad... Yeah. Psychotron. The Annoyotron, but worse. I mean, for 3 extra mana, you got a +2/+2 stat boost. That's not exactly good. But Scarum Cultist, 7/6 for 6 to give your Cthulhu +2/+2. That's pretty nice. It dies immediately to BGH, but that means that you got rid of a BGH. Well, no, if they're smart, then they wouldn't play the BGH on that because they're going to be holding off for that Cthulhu. So it's pretty good. So I would say that's a pretty good card. I hope nobody's hearing that pinging noises. Alright, so collects the Amber Weavers, another Eternal Sentinel. Oh, yes. Come on, something new, something new, something new, something new, something new. Evolve! Oh, God, evolve. Transform your minions into random minions that cost one more. I've already ran into one Shaman deck, that evolve Shaman deck, where it's just, you put out a lot of, you just start putting down low cost minions that just summon more minions. Or just even just low cost minions in general, and then you play evolve, and then boom. You just got a board that slowly is just like, I mean, they can attack and then they evolve so that they have less health, but then because they're evolving into a different card entirely, that just becomes back up. Ancient Chillbear. This also pushes for a Cthulhu warrior deck because gaining 10 armor. I mean, by the time, I mean, with the cards that you have now, that they've coming out, if you're playing a Cthulhu deck, then you're most likely by at least turn 4 or 5, you're gonna have 10 attack on your Cthulhu. So then this is almost this might as well just be gain 10 armor, and this is a one extra mana and an extra 1/1 of stats than the original Shield Maiden that's now out of standard. Collects the Amber Weaver, Selfless Hero. Damn, I got a lot of disenchants. A lot of disenchants now. It's a slow pack. Nothing good then, right? Nothing good. Come on. The game didn't freeze. It's just very, very, very laggy. Everybody wants to get on. Evolved Kobold. Don't play it. If you get this card, don't play it. Spell damage +2 is alright, but for a 4-mana 2/2, it's fucking terrible. I actually remember. I mean, if it was a 4-mana for a 2/6, that'll be fine. That'll be a better 2/6 than that warrior card. But it's a 2/2. Don't play it. Adult Grizzly. That's a good druid card, even if it's not a beast deck, because after you summon a minion, give it +1/+1. I mean, you can give it Marquee Discharge so that it becomes a 4/4 to help it stick and draw a card. But I mean, a buff druid deck is probably going to become part of the meta. Hopefully, I just love druids. I'm a bit biased towards them. Druids and paladins are my favorite classes. Journey below, discover a death rattle card. So pretty much that priest card is discover a death rattle card for a 1/2. But so pretty much we're being told that 1/2 is worth a 1-drop, which it pretty much already was. But now it's a 1-drop for combo potential, which makes Rogue a bit more dangerous. Empower word Tentacles. Give a minion +2/+6. That's a bit ridiculous, honestly. Well, now that I just saw the mana cost for 5 mana, now I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, the best card that you can play that on is like Lightwell or Light Spawn. But other than that, unless I guess a very big taunt, as long as it doesn't go over, as long as it doesn't have 5 attack at the least. Let's see here. Nope. I'm gonna get nothing, aren't I? And we're back. something happened with Hearthstone and just closed down on me, so hopefully I'll still be able to get this done quickly. Alright, next pack. I'll put my editing skills to the test to put them together. God damn it. Forbidden Flame and Rallying Blade. Alright. Give +1/+1 to your minions with Divine Shield. Yeah, there's definitely a Divine Shield deck. I actually originally had a Divine Shield deck before any expansion had ever came out. I just like literally threw every Divine Shield card I could together. Wait, no, it was back in Goblins versus Gnomes. Yeah, the expansion that went out standard. I ran a Divine Shield deck where I just put every single Divine Shield card in the deck, and it was all right. But now this can actually be a legitimate deck. Twilight Elder. I don't think I saw this one, but yeah, Twilight Elder, a 3/4. No, this will actually stick pretty well. At the end of your turn, give Cthulhu +1/+1 wherever it is. I would say that on average, this should give you about a +2/+2 versus stats for that Cthulhu. But if they have a card that they're going to be holding on to get rid of that, then they'll definitely be getting rid of that immediately. For Forbidden Flame, spend all your mana, deal that much damage to a minion. That is arguably bad, just because it's just very situational. I mean, it can be useful in some points, but in other points, two Eldritch Hordes. Twilight Flamecaller, deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. Not bad, not bad. For 3 mana 2/2, that can deal a considerable amount of damage to your opponent. Especially if it's like against Evolved Shaman, and they're still building up their board, and they only have one health minions. You just drop that down and it ruins their day. Whenever a character is healed, give your Cthulhu +1/+1. That's a 3/6 for 4 mana? That is actually pretty fantastic. Definitely a Priest Cthulhu deck upcoming. I think Cthulhu decks are just going to be used for all classes at this point. Fiery Bat, a 2/1 for 1, deal 1 damage to a random enemy. That is pretty. It makes it a high priority target, and so at the same time it can help remove the creature. I mean, it can get rid of other cards that can be kind of sticky early on, like Mana Worm. You just need to get lucky that it hits the Mana Worm after you hit it. Give a minion +1/+2 for 1 mana. That ain't bad. That ain't too bad. Alright. The Enzal's first mate, equip a 1/3 Rusty Hook. So that's a pretty good starting card. I mean, you'll be able to immediately take out like a 1 health minion if you're going second. And then you can just do an upgrade turn 2, which gives you a 2/4 weapon. Finally, another. Oh, yes. Fandral Staghelm. This is probably one of the best legendaries in the expansion, from what I can tell, next to Cthulhu, because Cthulhu is going to be is pretty much going to be revolving around entire decks. I mean, your choose one of cards have both effects combined. That means that you can use that one. There's a 3-drop card that becomes a 5/5. So for 3 mana, that's fantastic. For 5 mana, you can get a 4/6 taunt and charge. You can do this with this even goes along with like nourish, so that you follow this up with nourish, and then you're drawing 3 cards while also getting 2 mana crystals. This card is just a fantastic card. I'm actually very glad now that I got this card. Servant of Yogg-Saron. Now this card is actually, I mean, people will say this is. I mean, I think people have said that they think this card is good, but from my current experience with it, it's terrible. Because I played a match in order to get an extra 5 packs for this opening from a daily quest. And what happened was they cleared my board, and the mage played Servant of Yogg-Saron. And guess what? Man, what spell it decided to use? Hex, which targets a random so it would target a random minion. But guess what? There was only one minion out there, so it hit itself in he kind of conceded the next turn after I managed to burst him down a little bit with a couple swipes. So let's see here. Midnight Drake. Gain +1 attack for each other card in your hand, as opposed to Twilight Drake. So it's gonna be used in handlock alongside Twilight Drake, I would think. Caribbean Prophet Mukla. Don't a Golden Enzos first mate. But Mukla Tyrant of the Veil. Add 2 bananas to your hand. This has definitely been a lot of speculation because it's been possible that this could be it could include the damaging bananas and the +2/+2 bananas as well. But if it's just the regular +1/+1 bananas, then this card isn't exactly as good because this is it's a 6 for 5/5, which is an alright body, but it's very outclassed by other 6/5/5s like Sylvanas and Emperor Thorson. But add 2 bananas to your hand. You can buff this up to a 7/7, but still it's technically an 8 drop for a 7/7. I mean, the original Makala was pretty much 3 for a 5, was 3 mana for a 5/5, but your opponents had to spend 2 mana to get those extra buffs. You had to spend that extra mana buffs now. So unless they're like some sort of different banana, they probably should have made it a different kind of banana, especially because it's corrupting everything. So they should have been like rotten bananas. Whenever a friendly minion dies, give your Cthulhu +1/+1. Another city huckster. Add a random class card to your hand from your opponent's class. Rogue's doing it as always, dealing your opponent's classes. Not surprised Nefarian hasn't been used more often in rogue decks, just because it has the same effect. Oh, Shadowcaster. Oh, I've been interested in trying to do something like with this. Valkyrie, choose a friendly minion. Add a 1/1 copy to your hand that costs 1 mana. On one hand, it's bad. On the other hand, it's fantastic. It all just depends on what card you decide to use it on and how your opponent decides to deal with it. I mean, you wait until like turn 7 or something and plop this on a Sylvanas. That's a 1/1. It's for 1 mana you get a 1/1 Sylvanas that allows you to steal an enemy minion. So it's a very situational card. But it will probably be played alongside like an Enzoth deck. Then it gets Darkness, Addled Grizzly, Cyclopean Horror. Gain +1/+1 health, or gain +1 health for each enemy minion. This would stand against Darkness if they don't do the Quartermaster, but it's the same thing with that healing card. I mean, they just probably play Quartermaster next turn. But I mean, it possibly can be a 3/10 for 4, but if it's able to become a 3/10, that means that your opponent has 7 minions on their side of the board, and that's not good for you. Balefin Tidehunter, Infest. Give your minions Death Rattle, add a random beast to your hand. So this doesn't work with the Addled Hunter, that the 3 drop for 4/2 that gives all your Death Rattle cards +1/+1, because this only gives your minions on the field this effect. But I mean, this can be alright, I guess, with like Web Spinner, because then does Web Spinner give you 2 beast cards? Yeah. Alright, so we got 2 more packs left. Let us see if we can get one more legendary. Though I'm already happy with the legendary that I currently got. Eater of Secrets, yay! Finally something that destroys Paladin decks. Destroy all enemy secrets, gain +1/+1 for each. Paladin deck, usually Paladin decks, when they play out Mysterious Challenger, they got that 6/6 out with 5 secrets. So then you can respond to that with this card to get a 7/9, which just destroys their Mysterious Challenger that they had to pay 6 mana for, and you already got at 4. And nope, nothing else. Thistle Tea. Draw a card, add 2 extra cards of it to your hand. This is very risky. A card that I don't think will ever be seen in the light of day for competitive play. But I mean, it can be fun, but unless you know that every single card in your deck is a card that you want to have multiple cards of, I mean, it's just very risky card because you can possibly get 3 Nerubian Prophets, which is I'll probably actually play this just because of possible 3 Nerubian Prophets, but it's possible 3 Eldritch Horrors, so you have 3 8/8 stuck in your hand, or 3 8 costs, or even 3 Squid Faces. It's just that, I mean, it's a, I mean, a lot of people would just say it's a straight out bad card, but I mean, well, it is bad it's bad when you look at it, but overall, I would say it's bad overall still. There's no way I can defend the card, but I'm just trying to say that it's all right. Oh yes, let's look at this nice collection that's coming along. Look at all the cards that I got. Forbidden Flame. All these. Flame Caller. Yeah, I have a pretty large collection, but I'm missing a lot of epic and legendary cards. But I mean, I do try to get as many of the ones that I need for a deck, usually. I do have 2 mysterious challengers because I did try to be one of those paladins. I mean, paladin was my favorite class, and I was like, oh hey, look, a fantastic paladin combo. And then it turns out, oh hey, this is a very scummy meta deck. I mean, it was a good deck, but it was good as in there was very few ways to counter it as soon as you got it out there, just because the only card currently that could actually wait. I actually have 8 squid faces. God damn. But the only card out there that could actually remove it, that could actually like screw your opponent over, was Flare from the Hunter class. Nobody plays Flare though. Nobody plays Flare. Okay. Lot of cards, a lot of cards. I don't know what deck I'll be trying to make first. I'm definitely once I'm done here, I'm just gonna be I'm just showing off my collection of cards, of standard cards at least. It's not showing everything else. Reckoner of Evil. Oh yeah, this was just free. Here, Evil, come on, boy. I love a lot of these flavor decks. What does this say? Often excluded from dinner parties. To be fair, he is very boring. What did I say about this one? Pure Rewop. Power Creep. It's just Power Creep. Sometimes the old guys' corruptions give you untapped power. Sometimes you get +1 attack. We can all be winners in the Eldritch Lottery. Goddamn. Okay, Cthulhu, repeat after me. Your mother was a hamster. God, what? Some of these flavor texts. What's this one? You're a cute little Inzoth. Who's a cute little Inzoth? You are, yes you are. You're the cutest little Inzoth in the whole world. Twilight Elders. Blackwater Pilot. What's this one? What are the qualifications for being a whore? Just how horrible do you have to be? You don't want to be around after it has eaten an explosive trap. You thought Sludge Vulture was bad. You know, take Tentacle. The Overmind and the Old Gods are surprisingly similar. Oh, because StarCraft. God damn it. Rolling greed on this could happen to you. Roll greed on this could happen to you. Still fearsome in the daytime. I didn't notice I got a golden one. Corrupted Healbot. Not so much corrupted as has terrible aim. Cult needs farmers to stew. Annoyinger Otron was just too unwieldy and accurate. For seers, it's very handy to have your crystal ball hanging right in front of your face. I have 7 of these? 7 of those? God damn it. Pro tip, do not bogart the bananas. Turn just before he comes into play, there's an awesome training montage with Cthulhu. It's self-reducing. It's a self-reducing prophecy. Bog creep. You tried other things, but bog settling, bog ambling, and bog trundling just aren't as effective as bog. They say that grotesque is in the eye of the beholder, but that's just because they've never seen a grotesque dragonhawk. Yikes. Hello, is Doom there? No? Can I leave a message? Often wonders what path his life might have been if it wasn't named, Eldritch Horror. Has 20 years of training in classical ballet, but all he ever has to do is boogie. Cthulhu. Cthulhu's least favorite Hearthstone card, Eye for an Eye. God damn it. Rejected names: 40-foot faceless, big ol' no face, huge creature sans face, Teddy. Okay. Alright, what was those? Alright, but yeah, that's it. I just did this because I felt like doing it after having all these cards out and being ready to get them out there. It's going to be a long time coming now. Trying to get a good deck now, just because not going to have any money for spending on actual cards. So I'm going to be a bit behind for a while. Then everybody's going to have the cards while I'm just catching up. But yeah, that'll do it for now. So see you guys later.